on his left, Jess on his right. Hey, hold up, don't start a fight. He's got you covered with all the sports. Don't fret, he's wearing shorts. It's time for Waking Jake in the morning, Waking Jake at night. Jake sucks.
Woo! Good morning, Bakers. What is going on, everybody? Sorry, looking to tag Shohei Ohtani on Twitter. Don't know if he operates on there. I'll just tag the Angels, I guess. What's going on, everybody? Happy, well-dressed Wednesday. Hope you guys are starting to chew through your week. As you can probably tell, I look fantastic. Shout out to the Angels. They heard about Papi Gordo talking about their Halos early on this season. Before the season, some people are saying. And yeah, they sent a bucket hat, a couple of Ohtani shirts, and it's Wednesday, so we get well-dressed in the office and here on Wake and Jake. We're going to catch you up through the past couple days of sports, NBA playoffs, the Heat take down the Celtics last night in a fun basketball game. BBD's NBA lottery goes down last night. Knicks get lucky yet again. 18 straight years. Hilarious.
It's more years than that. 18 straight lotteries they've been involved in.
18 straight lotteries, excuse me.
I mean, they've only made the playoffs
Right.
how many times? So.
It extends, 2 decades, basically. New York Rangers play tonight. We're obviously excited for that. There'll be a new episode of Bandwagon Rangers coming up.
Blue shirts.
Bandwagon Blue Shirts, excuse me. And we'll circle through the baseball, as we always do. And I was looking for a fun baseball topic, and it was all sparked by young Reds reliever Alexis Diaz, who everything we've heard about the Reds is how much they suck this year. And they have a guy who's nasty in their bullpen, and I think every team has a guy who's nasty in their bullpen that you probably don't know about if you don't watch their team. So we'll go scrub through some of that to find out what is going on. Let me pop out the chat. Excuse me. Beebs, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Got to tune into a little bit of the end of that Heat Celtics game. That was cool. Feels less daunting when we're down to just like there's one game a night, pretty much the rest of the way. It's like, oh, I can tune into that one. I don't feel like I'm getting lost in it.
Yeah, and again, I can't tell if it's the good or bad for the NBA, but like, for one of the first times this year, I felt like I had to tune into the game. I was like, oh, like all my buddies were texting, the Twitter timeline was filled. I was like, hey, Yankees game is over.
Yeah.
I'm flipping over to Heat Celtics.
Yankees ended up like a good flip time.
Yeah,
well.
So that worked out for us. Didn't work out for the Celtics. The Boston Celtics were up, quick math, 5 + 3 is 8. Nailed that. Celtics were up 8 at the half. And I think a lot of the momentum was going Celtics in this series. The fact they got over Giannis, Tatum, arguably the best player in this series, or at least everyone wants Tatum to be the best player in this series.
He can, by the end of the series, like establish himself as the best player in this series.
Like he's so talented. He's still so young. Even I heard people saying like Jaylen Brown, can he be better than Jimmy Butler at some point? I don't know. I love Jimmy Butler. I kind of view them through totally different scopes. What I saw from this game was pretty wild, and it was kind of what we were hopeful for. The defense, the block shots in this game were out of control. The Heat had 12 block shots. The Celtics had 8. The third quarter itself was kind of chaos, and unfortunately it was horrible chaos for the Celtics, who I endearingly because I've had my friends call it this. The Meltics. I think that's some sports gambling talk, and it's obviously some New York, Boston stuff there. Miami Heat. I also think it's funny because they're the Heat, so the Heat melt things.
Meltics.
I don't know. Kind of makes sense, right? Just looked at myself and was a little shocked. Very big 90s, 2000s music video vibes. Bad music video. Would probably change the channel.
Might be like early 90s.
Yeah. 39-14 in the third quarter. The Heat just fully turned it on. Jimmy Butler, who, by the way, all that stuff about the Celtics, I think Jimmy Butler could still have a very clear argument to be the best player in this series, at least for this year, which people would then use to turn and use against Tatum. Let's see. It's game one. The Celtics just went 7, and then they went down to Miami. Jimmy Butler, man, some of his shot making is awesome. Stuff that doesn't even make sense. His mid-range game is so smooth. 41 points, 12 of 19 from the field, 17 of 18 from the free throw line. Make your free throws, kids. Get to the line and make your free throws. He also had 4 steals, 3 blocks. Like, there's a time when Jimmy Butler was like the defensive guy for like those Bulls teams. That's going back a few moons now. But we walked you through the whole Jimmy Butler story last time. I thought it was funny in his post-game interview. They talked to him, and 41 points. That's a monster playoff game. What's he gonna say? And he said something along the lines of like, I play the best team basketball I can. Which, okay, post-game interview, it is whatever it is. They won the game. He scored 41 points. That's easy to say. But that's also Miami. That's Coach Spoelstra. Look at the other guys on the court. Remember when I was giving Luka a ton of praise for his surrounding crew, which it's Jalen Brunson and blank, Maxi Kleber,
Dorian Finney-Smith,
PJ Tucker, who's a consummate NBA playoff guy, but he took his 5 shots. He got 5 points. He's gonna play awesome defense. He looks like a rec league guy on an NBA court, but he's awesome defensively. Bam Adebayo. Bam's a stud. He's quiet this game. 10 points, only 4 rebounds, 4 blocks. Those are important. Your boy Max Strus. We have fun when we see NBA guys that we're not super familiar with. We've brought up Max Strus a couple times on this show. 26 years old, out of DePaul. One of my buddies, Big Evan, who's a funny guy, he sent the text, I'm 80% sure Max Strus changed my oil last month. I don't think that's true. I think that was a joke. Gabe Vincent. I mean, unless you're an NBA fan, not deep on a lot of your guys' lists of players you're fans of. UCSB, Cal Santa Barbara. How about it? Oladipo and Tyler Hero are probably the guys They came off the bench. Oladipo's still kind of a shell of himself. Tyler Hero has a good game. By the way, he comes out in an outfit that resembles eerily similar to what I'm... Actually, it's ridiculous scale. It is a similar boat to what I'm currently wearing. Bam Adebayo mocks him in his post-game presser. Heat take game 1. It doesn't really change how I feel about this series. It's 6 or 7 games either way. Fantastic team basketball. Boston could have died in this game so easily. They actually, at one point, they brought out their end of the bench crew. Shout out Luke Cornett, former Knicks great, to sub them in, and then they hit a couple more shots. Peyton Pritchard, Sco Ducks, hit a couple big ones. It wasn't enough, but credit to both teams. The Celtics hit shots to stay in this game when it easily could have gotten out of hand. Credit to the Heat, who continued to make shots when the Celtics did everything to kind of get back into it. Tatum finishes with 29. Brown with 24. Robert Williams, 3. R-Dub, 3. He goes for 18. And Peyton Pritchard off the bench with 18 of his own. So, I don't know. Was a good game. I mean, incredible Heat third quarter. That kind of changes the entire scope of this game. And yeah, I like Baby Day was saying. I think every NBA game is must watch the rest of the way, which again, I think that's one of NBA's strengths that, the next, let's say there's 16 games. Okay, bad math already. Let's say there's 12 conference finals games, and then there's another 18 must-watch sporting events.
Yeah,
pretty impressive.
For like the NBA's biggest fault is they maybe have too many you don't need to watch games, but once they get to like a must-watch game, you must watch.
They get you hooked. I mean, it's the storylines. It's knowing the players. It's kind of what we try to bring to Major League Baseball is learning who these guys are and learning their personalities. So when you see them, you are intrigued and you want to know what they're doing. I mean, my sweet Jessica is interested in Isaiah Kiner Falefa because she does call him falafel. I don't love it. I don't really know what it's about, but when you become endeared to these players for whatever reasons, if you think Tatum's next, if you love that Jimmy Butler plays with piss and vinegar from killing Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns back in the day. Spoelstra, supposedly a good guy. Heard on Russillo's podcast that while the Heat were in like COVID times, everyone that was hourly, he like paid them. Mm. That's nice. We like that. We'll root for that. And his storyline in general is still funny if you go back to the days when he was supposed to be just like kind of replaced by Pat Riley, and now he's one of the top respected coaches in the game. So,
running, and I guess it's still Pat Riley stuff, but we were mentioning earlier, like our team basketball. It's like there's only a couple. Like at this iteration of the NBA, there's only a couple teams that like have an identity organizational wise. It's like the Heat, the Spurs. Is that kind of Spurs it as far as like this like organization's culture is whatever. I'm sure there's other things, but
Celtics have an argument. I mean they've been pretty well run. I mean I know
they've had a similar crew for a little while.
Brad Stevens out, and this team for half the season stunk, but now they're good. They play really good team brand of basketball. That's where this series should be fun. It should be high level elite basketball. You can kind of say it. There's an NHL comparison to be there. Like NBA playoff basketball is different. It's played at a higher level. The transition buckets seem to disappear. The defense picks up. You play the best players more. I mean, the formula makes sense. The games just matter a little more. It's not a shot fired at the NBA. It's not a shot fired at the NHL. It's just kind of how it works. So that should be must watch. The other NBA game goes tonight, 9 p.m. Kind of like that. That's doable.
It's not too bad.
What time's that game end? Midnight? Around there?
With a couple extra commercials this time of year.
Close to midnight?
Should be over by midnight. That's doable.
Would
I prefer 8:30? Sure. But West Coast.
West Coast worldwide, from the club to the parking lot. NHL games played last night. Kind of don't care because it's not my Rangers. Just a Rangers guy. Looks like Tampa beat Florida handily. Expect the Rangers to do that tonight. Colorado beat St. Louis in overtime. Overtime game. I missed it, but it must have been late. So, no apologies there. Any other regular sports going on, BBD? Before we get to baseball talk, which we do a lot of baseball talk. I mean, Evaldi gets popped.
Yeah, no, I think only other might be brought up later is the only other thing I'm thinking of.
Tariq Cohen tears his ACL. Tears his Achilles, excuse me.
Yeah, it's not what you want.
I still don't know the difference between Achilles and ACL. It's pretty sad.
Congrats, the Magic.
Yeah, the lottery gets decided, I guess, Knicks fans, whoever you're a fan of. I guess where you can see the results. The Magic got the 1 pick.
I don't think any crazy jump happened. The only big one was like the Kings got into there, and I think
didn't OKC do well?
OKC, they had 2 lottery picks, and they went for, I think they had the 4th best odds and got up to 2. They had a good chance of being in that top 4. I think the only team that wasn't in that top 4 mix going in that got in was Sacramento. I think, if I'm reading this chart right.
So yeah, it looks like your NBA draft lottery, the Orlando Magic, the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Houston Rockets, Sacramento Kings, Detroit Pistons, Pacers, Trailblazers, Pelicans, Spurs, Wizards, Knicks, Benedict Mathurin. People are talking. OKC again, Charlotte Hornets, Cleveland. Oh, this keeps going outside the lottery, so I don't care about that. If you have a bad team, this is exciting. The guys at the top of the draft, I think, are actually really fun this year. I don't know if they're guaranteed studs. Jabari Smith out of Auburn was awesome to watch this year. Chet Holmgren, nobody knows what to really do with, but he's good. He's just good.
Banchero up there.
Yeah, Banchero. He had his ups and downs, and I really love Jaden Ivey, the guard from Purdue. He feels different.
Yeah, there's... I guess like we're in one of those years of like there isn't a consensus one sort of like NFL draft was, and yeah, kind of any of those 4 could go more or less in any order. So that's always that is interesting.
Yeah, that's the fun drama of it. And if you're an NBA person, there's a lot of stories through the years about agents pulling strings, and sometimes it's not to the front office, and guys try to dictate their way, and it's. NFL, Eli Manning is kind of the famous one, but NBA, there's been a lot of stories around that. It's not as popular or common in modern day, but you wonder if guys try to put their card on the table and say, like, I don't want to go there, and what kind of impact that has.
I don't know what degree of politicking there is in the NBA draft. Like, it depends on teams and the guy.
I guess Orlando, I don't know. Orlando's kind of funny because I think, that's not... Well, they have young talent. No state income tax. Like, I think that stuff matters for rookies coming into the league. And I don't know, dude. NBA, you can just be a star, and as long as you're going to have your opportunity, like, I think stuff like that has changed. Like, Oklahoma City, like, Russell Westbrook was massive. Massive. He still is. Like, those Paul George teams, I mean, Durant, like, if you're Chet Holmgren.
If you're good enough, like you're in that tier of players, that really doesn't matter.
Like the Kings and Pistons, I guess those teams aren't super sexy, but Jaden Ivey went to school at Purdue. Like, if the Pistons take him, man, that would actually be an awesome fit. Oh, I would love that.
That'd be cool.
I love Ivey, man. He's a baller. Him and Cade Cunningham, that'd be cool. We'll have time to dream about that. When is the draft? NBA draft?
Probably like a month away. June 23rd, yeah.
June 23rd. All right. Clear your calendars.
Like high school, when I got into basketball, it felt like it was always like on my last day of school. It was always like a nice kickoff to the summer for me.
I like that. All right, let's get into some baseball. Let's go Rangers. They're probably going to win tonight by a lot, if I had to guess. Let's talk some baseball. We'll check in around the league real quick. Sorry, Nate Eovaldi. Might be a bruh. And I want to check in. There's so many electric and elite relievers around baseball now that I want to click around and give some shout-outs to some guys you probably should know if you're a baseball fan tuning into this. And the baseball portion of the show is brought to you by Athletic Greens, AG1. You might have heard of this now, whether JOMBOY Media, Chris Rose, he's trying to, I think his phrase was, I'm trying to turn my body from the size of a temple into a temple. I forget. It was a good line. It was a good Chris Rose line.
He probably said it better.
And by the way, this isn't just us. I feel like any show I turn on these days is talking about Athletic Greens, and that's because if you don't have time, if you're looking for energy, if you're looking to try to be healthy, Athletic Greens, it's lifestyle friendly. If you eat keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, if you're starting to wear crop tops, people, you're going to want to get your Athletic Greens on. With one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods, and probiotic superfoods to help you start your day right. With Athletic Greens, you're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance. They're trying to make it easy for you. They're giving you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/Jake. Jake, people. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/Jake to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. I was talking to our sales crew about this, and they were like, Chris Rose is all about it. The Compound crew, they're all about it. So now, Wake and Jake, guess what? We're all about it. It's crop top season. athleticgreens.com/Jake. Let's get healthy. Let's get tropical. Rusty in the chat, my guy. Rusty rages. He's been around for a while. That's our dude. Every show I watch is sponsored by AG1. Yeah, they're doing something right. Go check them out and use code Jake. I guess quick MLB whip around information. There was no major highlights last night. Again, I keep referencing Nate Dogg, which is kind of unfortunate to him. Yankees continue to be nasty. Dodgers, they took a doubleheader versus my Snakes. I hate that. I think one of the bigger pieces of news, the Astros are first place in the AL West now. They're a game up on the Angels, 2 in the loss column. You wonder if it just stays that way. This was supposed to be the tough part of the Astros schedule.
They're going to have a tough start of the year.
Not necessarily. I'm not sure about the opponents. I know they had a ton of games and a ton of days, and it was going to be difficult for them. So, and it looks like they're going to be just okay. The White Sox return to 500. Will they go? Know who's the team? I keep looking at them, and I know I shouldn't be drinking the Kool-Aid. The Chicago Cubs. This was actually a highlight from last night. They had a rookie who took his first major league at bat, Christopher Morel. I want to look him up. Go watch the homer. The Cubs dugout goes nuts. It's a 6-0 game. I want to text Hap. I will text Hap. How about that? Let's flex on him. Because it's a 6-0 game against the Pirates. And it might just be a shout-out to the Cubs being a really good fan base. It's worth watching the video, Beebs. I don't know if you saw it. But it's a 6-0 game. Cubs-Pirates. Cubs-Pirates right now. Not exciting. At Wrigley. It's a 3-2 count. It's a rookie batter in his first at-bat. So, I think the formula is, which is awesome, it's the Cubs being good baseball fans, knowing it's a kid getting his first at-bat. The crowd is standing and cheering, and the kid pimps a homer. He rocks one out of Wrigley onto the street. So that was a must-watch highlight from last night. I know Michelle Haley is our resident Cubs fan that's usually in the chat here. Is there anything I'm missing from that? Because otherwise it was just an electric scene. I don't want to say for no reason, but okay, so I'm going to text Hap. Morel homer. Everyone was going nuts, huh? Okay, text sent. We'll see if we get a reply. But kind of one of the must-watch highlights from yesterday. And I was wondering, because we had our Talking Baseball come out today, and I said this, and it's just how my brain works, and it's how baseball works, that, like, the next time we check in with over-unders in the standings, like, a minimum at minimum, 2 teams are going to be really good that haven't been, and 2 teams that have been good are going to be bad. Like, that's baseball. That's how the cycle works. So I don't know. I don't. The Cubs have a really funky roster. And hey, sometimes it's as simple as, okay, text from me and Hap immediately, the man.
Mm.
I said, Morel homer. Everyone was going nuts. Huh? He said, it was awesome. Everyone was fired up. Wrigley was jumping. I'm going to say, was it just because he was a rookie? Just because it was first at bat? It was first at bat and full count? Just nuts fans? Because that's awesome. And we tried to be baseball schedule truthers, and I kind of wish I did this the other day. The Cubs, they just took 2 out of 3 from my Snakes. Unreal, but we'll let it happen. They're currently playing the Pirates, and they're going for a sweep today. That makes sense. They host the Diamondbacks for 4 games. No comment. And then they play 4 against the Reds. So, the Cubs right now, I think, are 5 games under 500. Let me double check. They're 5 games under 500. So, if you're the Chicago Cubs, what do we need to go in this stretch? So, you got 1 versus the Pirates. That's 5. 9 games. Can you do a 7-2 and get to 500? I think you can. But then they go White Sox, Brewers, Cardinals. 2 games set against the Orioles. So, I don't know. I think the Cubs have the potential to get some good juice going. And I'm just excited to see what other teams do, because we're going to see a couple teams slide. I'm starting to get worried about my Diamondbacks and my Rockies. Both are now 2 games under 500. If that starts slipping, there's kind of a point of no return. When is the NL East going to kick in? Phillies, Braves, we're looking at you. Braves are 17-20. Phillies are 17-19. I mean, different expectations to a degree. Marlins have the same record, also 17-19. Yankees are the best team ever. I don't think we need to talk about that. Astros, Halos. Will the Mariners kick into gear? They're 16-21. What's their schedule look like? Mariners, they try to fend off a sweep from the Blue Jays today. That's not good, Mariners. Then they go to Boston for 4. Do what you want with that. And then they go home. They host the Athletics. They play the Astros. And then Orioles, Texas Rangers. Okay. They've got a chance to get it going, but the season's not early anymore. It is and it isn't. It is and it isn't. Let's see if we've got any more Ian Happ. No Ian Happ updates. We did get a retweet from we got a reply from the Rocket City Trash Pandas on my Well-Dressed Wednesday. So, life is good. Life is good. Logan Searcy in the chat, do you think the Rocks have a wild card chance if they weren't in the NL West? Maybe if they were a Central Division team, there's conversations to be had, but also no.
Make a threat.
Could they be in it at the deadline where they were buyers in a Central Division? Yeah. Why not? Why not believe that? All right. I try bringing you guys some baseball. I guess in a way I don't want to say baseball experts as I look at myself again in the mirror and say, what am I doing? No, there was a story last night that caught my attention. So I think what we're going to do is hop around the league just a little bit. I'm a Yankees fan. You couldn't tell that from my All Angels outfit today. The Yankees have a couple breakout relievers this year, and breakout this year is loosely used with one of them. Clay Holmes has essentially taken over the Yankees' closer role. That might surprise you if you're not in Yankee land. You know Aroldis Chapman. You might even know Johnny Loizaga. Clay Holmes has been arguably their best reliever this year. The other guy in the argument would be Mike King, who has been a different level of dominant, multiple innings. And again, like if you're just I don't want to say generic baseball fan, but maybe you play MLB The Show or however you watch baseball, the two relievers you would know from the Yankees last year would be Aroldis Chapman and Johnny Loizaga. And maybe you know Chad Green, like he's been doing it for a while now. Clay Holmes and Mike King have been their two best relievers this year. And any team you watch across baseball this year, they have a guy that comes out of their bullpen that is just disgusting. That is just absolutely disgusting. And to prove it, I'll start with the worst team in baseball this year, and this is the thing that inspired this. The Reds, the Cincinnati Reds, they finally got their 10th win last night. And their guy that came out of the bullpen, Alexis Diaz, in 16 games, he has a 0.52 ERA. I believe that's one earned run, if my math is right. It's his rookie year. He's throwing fastball, slider, and he's just mowing dudes down. The baseball savant backs it up. Hard hit percentage, expected batting average, fastball spin in the 100th percentile. We know teams like that. Let's see. He's throwing a four-seamer and a slider. Bang. There's baseball for you. What just made you snarf over there, BBD?
I've got the guy I'd like to shout out.
Okay,
next.
who do you got?
Well, are you done with your guy?
I think so. I mean, Alexis Diaz, we've, unfortunately, on Talking Baseball, we've talked about the Cincinnati Reds a lot in all the wrong ways. They've got a guy at their bullpen that's been lights out so far this year, and maybe you should know Alexis Diaz.
I've got a team, other end of the spectrum.
Okay.
Good team.
Good team.
They've got a reliever who's been a stud this year, being used in high-leverage spots. Raphael Montero of the Houston Astros.
Okay.
Dude, stud so far this year. 600 ERA plus, still early, but that's just a funny number to look at. 0.61 ERA in 14 and 2/3 innings. The savant numbers, good amount of red. And yeah, he's 31 years old, so a little bit coming out of nowhere. He was traded over from the Mariners last season.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's a guy I think of Raphael Montero, Mariner, 7th, 8th inning guy.
That was last year's the only time with the Mariners. He's with the Rangers a little bit, and then when I saw going way back, 4 years as a Met, and that got me.
Oh wow,
24
4 years,
14, 15, 16, and 17. 58 career games across that span. 1 year of over 30 appearances, 2017. Wasn't good any of those years, at least by the numbers. Don't know what the trends were. Reliever stats can be deceiving at times, but he's nasty now. The Astros are trusting him. They're a good team. They had a guy coming out of their bullpen. I was at an Astros game this weekend. He came in, and I hadn't heard of him. Man, he's just gross right now.
Baseball's wild. Raphael Montero in 2017, his average fastball was 94. This year it's 96. That's a big difference. He's throwing a 91 mile per hour changeup. That's gross. And yeah, I mean that's a guy that you circle and you're like, well, he can be a big part of this season.
Like he's gonna be. Houston's making the playoffs, and he's gonna get some important inning, I reckon.
Dude, there's Rowan Wick is a name I know. He's been around baseball for a while, and he was a guy that was kind of projected to be a wipeout closer. There's a guy in the Cubs bullpen, Scott Effross. Not in my book. 15 innings, 17 strikeouts. He has given up 2 earned runs this year. He's got a 102 FIP, 22 years old. Let's see a picture of Scott F. Ross. Sure. Indiana University guy. Made his debut last year. Had 14 appearances. I guess that's... BBD, name a team.
Cardinals.
Oh, done, dude. I mean, this team's a goddamn factory of freaks that come out of their bullpen.
Yeah. They have the next guy that I saw.
I mean, this guy is now becoming a story around baseball, and he deservedly show. Ryan Helsley. He's 27. He has been up for a few years now. 19, 20, 21. The last 2 years, to be completely honest, he's gotten knocked around. The last 2 years, Ryan Helsley has had a 4.7 ERA. And just like, I want you to think about that a little bit. I know reliever ERA is not everything. He was right around a strikeout per inning. But I think on the other side of things, and this is where organizations have to be patient and good and believe in whatever they're doing. Just went up on Scott F. Ross's page. Is he a sidewinder? That means he's illegal. He's illegal. He's out. Banned. Actually, no. Scott F. Ross just got himself a 15-year career.
Yeah.
Shout out Peter Moylan. And
97th percentile chase rate.
His baseball is off the chart. Ryan Helsley has become a story in baseball now. His fastball velocity is 100th percentile. He's thrown a hunch. Fastball spin is 99. That's a really good combination with an 88-mile-per-hour slider and a curveball. Yeah, man, this guy should probably be the example. Coming into this year because we did a St. Louis Cardinals team, preview. I drafted Giovanni Gallegos. I think he's gross. And if you're in baseball, you probably know who he's in. He's their closer. So, like, if you play fantasy or whatever it is.
He's been there for a few years now.
Yeah, and he broke out. Other side of the Luke Voit trade, if you're into that. I've always been a Genesis Cabrera guy. By the way, it looks like he's starting to do it. He's only 25.
Baby.
But Ryan Helsley is the guy that, think about this. If I'm doing a St. Louis Cardinals season preview, I know some of these guys. TJ McFarland was actually fun in the playoffs last year. Heavy sinker. He's getting hit a little bit. But think about it. If I'm scouting the Cardinals and I'm not following their day in, day out spring training camp, I can't do that with every team, despite my outfit. Ryan Helsley is one of the best relievers in baseball right now. Like, almost not an argument. Like, if you were making a best bullpen in baseball, and maybe this should have been the exercise, now that I'm thinking about it, like, Ryan Helsley would be in the best bullpen in baseball right now. Like,
one of the, 8 best dudes.
Him and Clay Holmes, who, again, in Yankees world, we're now very familiar with him. Dude was kind of, I don't want to say a scrub on the Pirates, but he was Ryan Helsley before he broke out. That's the whole point. And that's the funny thing with being a pitcher, a reliever, and having stuff and running into the right coach or the right pitch. And it's where technology in baseball. I gave some passionate speeches about pitching has kind of come too far. I think Ryan Helsley and Clay Holmes are the perfect examples. Those are guys that pre-technology are probably still, for lack of a less rude term, mid. And now those guys with the pitching technology, those guys are now would be a part of the best bullpen in baseball. Man, random team search, Seattle Mariners. Having a tough start, right? Things aren't clicking for our Mariners.
Not clicking's a good way to put it.
What if I told you The following words are not a joke. The Seattle Mariners have a guy named Penn Murphy in their bullpen. Pennmurfee. Not Murphy.
Like you're thinking. Like our friend
Murphy.
Murphy.
Like the guy from that prank show with the older dudes and like paying a fee. Penn Station.
Paying the fee to go see him.
Penn Murphy. He's pitched 11.1 innings this year. He's got 15 strikeouts. He's given up 1 earned run. Like, those reliever stats didn't exist a while ago. This guy's slinging 50% sliders. He's got an 89-mile-per-hour fastball. What? Who the hell are you, Penn Murphy?
33rd round pick, 2018. That's cool.
This guy's been dominant for 11 innings. I need to watch a Penn Murphy video. Where's the random video? All right, watching Penn Murphy. Oh, no. Gives up a single to Nimmo. He's kind of a side armor, too, so I hate him.
Yeah, he's not like... Yeah, he is.
Penn Murphy.
Apparently on the side armor front, they it sounds like they just recently converted Efros. It's like a cool.
Yeah, I mean
that's
that's
like
kind of fun. Okay,
He
I just
hasn't been doing it and just figured it out.
Just saw Penn Murphy's first slider, and I actually kind of liked it. But no, I mean, Diego Castillo, us Yankee fans know and remember him. He's been getting killed this year. Damn, I love him. Seawald broke out for them last year. Sergio Romo still always tricking them. Name a team, BBD.
The Angels.
My Angels. I think I know who the name is going to be. I think there's some alliteration involved. The Angels bullpen has been good. Aaron Loop, obviously, because he's a stud. I love Reisel, but he got popped that one game we watched. Their guy's Oliver Ortega. Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, right? That is kind of cool. Oliver Ortega is 25 years old. Barrel percentage, chase rate, some of that stuff there. Again, I shouldn't say again because our last guy, Sidewinders, get out of here. 96 mile per hour fastball, an 82 mile per hour curve. His ex-Woe Bacon is incredible. I know you guys love that. This guy so far this year, 13 games, 19.2 innings. So he's a multi-guy. We like that. 1.83 ERA. That's a lights-out performance from Oliver Ortega. Let's go to the Grosso factory and check on our Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, when you first asked, first team that came to mind was the Rays. I was like, that's kind of cheating for this, but let's see what they've got going on.
Your Tampa Bay Rays. Man, we got options, obviously. You probably don't know a single guy of their bullpen unless you're an AL East person. Andrew Kittredge has kind of locked down their closer role. Ryan Thompson's their sidewinder. The guy who is their breakout player, and he's of Yankees lore a little bit, it's J.P. Fireeisen, otherwise nicknamed the Fire Hydrant. Expected batting average, 95th percentile. 14 games, 17.1 innings. J.P. Fireeisen is yet to give up an earned run. Think 17.1 innings. J.P. Fireeisen. 45%, 92 mile per hour fastballs. Let me see. His expected batting average, top 5% of the league. Expected WOBA, which is an important stat people love now, top 1%. Top 1% of the league. This guy was like a bonus piece in a trade. It was the Adames trade?
Yes.
I think so, right?
Yeah.
I'll double check. I can click. I just clicked his name. Yeah, Drew Rasmussen. So this is funny. The Willie Adames trade, which the Brewers seem like they very clearly won. They got their starting shortstop, who's nasty. JP Fireeisen, who now has 17 perfect relief innings. He's coming out of their pen. Drew Rasmussen was the other piece in that trade. 7 starts, a 2.67 ERA. So Willy Adames is awesome. I love him. Starting shortstop. He's been like their best hitter this year.
Might be
pulse of the team, I say.
By the end of the month, he might be in conversation to receive a pedal.
The Rays ended up getting a guy who's been their second best starting pitcher this year and their best bullpen guy.
But I think both teams are very happy.
Man, it's funny.
He's
God.
Fireeisen, I think, has been traded 3 times now, and like the sports talk radio take would be like, and the team that's gotten him has won the trade every time. That's just a fun thing to say. Whether or not you say it's true about the Andrew Miller trade,
sure.
I don't think the Yankees lost, but I guess I'd say Cleveland won.
BBD, I'll hop over to our Mets quick because you probably know Edwin Diaz. And by the way, Edwin Diaz deserves more respect. I know he's had some blow-up years. It got a little Metsy for a second. This year he has 16 innings pitched and 30 strikeouts.
That's good.
It's just disgusting. He has the same exact ERA. He's given up 3 earned runs in 16 innings as Drew Smith. Drew Smith, Shea Station, they were talking about him the other day. They said that if they had to bank on an 8th inning guy, that he would be it. And this is where baseball is funny. 2020 season, I'm pretty sure about this. The Yankees played the Mets. Drew Smith came in. The Mets were like scared to use him. And then I don't think they used him. And the next day they used him and he got rocked. Since then, not watching a ton of Mets baseball, he had a 2.4 ERA in 31 appearances last year. This year, he's a 1.69 in 15 games, 16 innings, 20 strikeouts in 16 innings. Like, the whole point of this is there are so many dominant relievers in the league, and maybe this is what I'll ask for in comments of the day today. If you're listening to this, whatever team you're a fan of, tell me the reliever that we need to know about. That we should know about. Because let's type in one more random team. Texas Rangers.
They have a guy that popped up the way I was searching.
Taylor Hearn, love him. Doesn't count, starting pitcher. I mean, I see 2 names for them. Who are you looking at, BBD?
The way I was searching for some guys on some leaderboard. I got Brock Burke.
Brock Burke, people. More alliteration, which we love that.
Especially out of a pen.
11 games, 20 innings. We love a multiple inning king. More strikeouts than innings pitched. A 1.35 ERA. Like, 20 innings pitched, that's John Gray, who missed a couple starts, mind you. John Gray has 5 starts this year and has given the Rangers 22 innings. Like, Brock Burke is essentially given the equivalent of that to the tune of a 1.35 ERA. And his name's Brock Burke. I got to see this cat. Brock Burke. He's a lefty. K percentage is high. 95 on the gun. Little changeup. Oh, I just screwed him. I had a random video pop up. I think it was him striking out Ohtani. But then I hit random video twice and it went foul ball to Yuli Gurriel. So, sorry, Brock Burke. I mean, I just kind of stole a highlight from you. Look at this. He's 25. Just threw a nice slider to Sean Murphy. Feo just pegged it. Brock Burke sounds like a superhero secret identity. He might be. He might be.
Oh, he's a lefty, too.
Lefty, 6'4", 25 years old.
That's awesome.
Like, if there was a 6'4", 25-year-old lefty that had 20 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts, and a 1.35 ERA 10 years ago, you'd be like, whoa, is this guy the future of baseball? now it's just kind of the norm. And again, it ties into this whole thing. You know, whenever we critique baseball, people think we're on the why do you need to change? Like, the product is great. The product of baseball is great. That doesn't mean you can constantly be tweaking to make it better. And the pitching right now has just gone to like a special area. It's ahead of the hitting. Ethan in the chat right now, I just see a Joan Duran. We told you about him in spring training. Not a big deal.
Yeah, he should be part of this conversation, but you've been on him for so long.
He's just such a stud. A lot of Brock Burke commentary in the chat. Brock Burke works at Penn Murphy. That's pretty good. Vesia, I see him mentioned. I mean, I know Vesia from the Dodgers playoff teams, and I actually, when he originally came out, I was like, do I like this guy or hate this guy? Love him. Pure emotion. Tight pants, pure emotion.
There's got to be another Dodger that we should bring up.
I mean, there's always
There
Dodgers.
always is. Like, they're one of those teams.
Like, they're always Dodgers. Like, the Dodgers, I guess we'll finish with the two teams that have kind of been known for pitching. I'll go Dodgers and Cleveland Indians. The Dodgers, I mean, they had Andrew Heaney. They've got this young guy, David Price, off to a good start. You know, nobody that's, like, crazy off the page. It would be like Phil Bickford. Evan Phillips has the most innings out of their bullpen, which probably would surprise people.
Yeah, like I think Kimbrel's Craig Kimbrel, so different conversation. I think he's like doing well, but
yeah, it feels a little rude because I don't know. We also know them.
yeah, Dodgers are a team. Yeah,
I'm gonna go Cleveland Guardians really quickly because they've also been a pitching factory of sorts. Who's their guy? Their bullpen. Okay, yeah, I mean they've got options. Sam Hentges.
Oh yeah.
Hentges. Hentges. I never know how to properly say that. He's casually got 12 games, 14 innings, 18 strikeouts. And with him, former Yankees farmhand Trevor Stephan, 16 innings, a 1.69 as well. So it's all around baseball. Like it'd be shocking to have a guy in your bullpen who's not a Brock Burke that doesn't work at Penn Murphy. So with that, I kind of led into the comment of the day. If you guys want to leave a comment, I told you. I even gave you the bait. Let me know. Let me know who your guy is, or maybe who your next guy is, the guy that's talented, that's about to break out. Would love to know. As for now, I ask you to leave a comment, and I ask you to bake the algorithm. We're up to 629K subs on the YouTubes. Thank you. Truly appreciate you guys. Last episode, we were catching up on Game 7 Sunday. Let's go Rangers. Just coming off a Rangers high as they go for it tonight. Ever since Jake told the Brewers lineup to heat up, they have every starter now over 100 OPS plus. I got to see this.
That's awesome.
The Brew Crew are hitting. Did they just need a series against Pittsburgh? Or was it Atlanta? Let's see. Brewers lineup. Narvaez. Yeah, he's doing well. Rowdy Tellez, been killing it for a little while now. Colton Wong, I saw he had a big game. Willie Adames, Chase Peterson, Yelly, Renfroe, Not Kane, Urias.
Yeah, they doing. I think that's like similar to the Yankees. Like, is Urias going a third and Chase is playing a lot of outfield or something?
No, I mean I just think it's to the point that
everybody.
You know, my award at the time, I did this on Talking Baseball, was I gave out the
early birthday.
The early birthday. Willie Adames, mentioned throughout this episode. He was the only guy with an OPS in the 7s. Now they have 6 other guys, 7 if you count Urias, which you should.
Throw in. There's another guy you could throw in that probably should get a mention even before Urias.
Who's that?
Brasso.
Brasso.
He's approaching 800.
Yeah. Yeah, so, okay. So, talk about
3
flipping a
sauce
narrative. I want to see their team hitting stats. Are they, like,
They were getting into the middle of the pack.
8th in OPS?
That's good.
4th in homers and steals? That's fun. 6th in runs? Okay. Look at that. In a matter of, like, what, 2 weeks? The Brewers have kind of totally flipped a narrative. I love that. Thank you, Matthew Nauer. Wow, Snarly Charlie said, sorry, Jake, but let's go Canes. Not sure about that. As a lifelong Rangers fan, not sure about that. And T. Spees says, we need your hair care routine, BBD.
It's surprisingly simple.
Okay.
Just literally just a shower.
Okay.
And I have like some cream stuff get in there. It's a paste, I think would technically be the term.
Cream
so
stuff.
not a gel, a paste.
Cream stuff and based from BBD. Thank you guys for leaving a comment, subscribing, reviewing, sharing with your friends. You guys are the best. We love to Wake and Jake with you. And I teased it a little bit now. We'll go to Bro of the Night. This is someone you should be talking about, having a fun conversation around the water cooler. And unfortunately, because I do like this guy, although I will never be confused for a Red Sox fan. Nate Eovaldi had to eat it last night, and he ate it in a big way. He has an MLB record. He gave up 5 homers in an inning to the Houston Astros. His final line is 1.2 innings, 8 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned on the 5 home runs. So, hey, come on, Boston defense. Like, be cool about it. I will say this. I mean, the guys that did it, top of the second, are dudes. And this is why the Houston Astros are nasty. Yordan Alvarez. Yep. Like, are one of the best young hitter paces ever. Kyle Tucker. Yep. Broke out. Has been good. Broke out even more. Still really good. Jeremy Pena. The breakout rookie shortstop. He hits one. Michael Brantley. Dr. Smooth. Like, kind of regarded as one of the best pure hitters in baseball for a while. Yuli Gurriel won the batting title last year. The ageless wonder. The guys, he got Alex Bregman out during that time, not mentioned as one of the home run hitters. Jose Altuve hit a double. Man, Eovaldi got the brunt of it. Got replaced by Tyler Danish, who got Kyle Tucker out again. Nathan Eovaldi's pretty nasty. He dominated the Yankees when they even knew what was coming. But yeah, you're in the history books, and it's kind of another. The baseball savant page doesn't look too good outside of fastball velo. Not sure what's going on there. Again, it's been a tough year in the Commonwealth so far. I don't think that is going to spark them. Let me see. Red Sox. So they beat Houston 6-3. And they lost to Houston. Do they have one more game or 2? So one more game, and then they host Seattle. So, hey, Boston, full pension Piv on the mound. I think his last 2 starts have been good. You can win a series today, or you can lose a series today. Oh, my God, just saw Matt Strom on their baseball reference page, and what a look he has going on. BBD, your bro?
My bro, we gave him a brief shout-out. And I think I closed the page, so that's annoying. Found it. Gave a brief shout-out. We talked about the Miami Heat, and that third quarter was, of course, kind of the turning point. Jimmy Butler getting deserved a lot of love. 17 points in that third, 3 steals. But Gabe Vincent, who we mentioned briefly, he's also 10 points in that quarter. Not in a lot of books.
No. Gabe Vincent.
He has the 10-point third in tandem with Butler, where they What was the? They're gonna give me the quick quarter score. Whatever. They outscored them by a lot that quarter, and that helped.
39-14, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that's the Miami Heat thing that's funny when we label something a good team. Whenever you see a Gabe Vincent shoot it, Max Strus, it's this rude NBA playoff thing where you almost assume they're going to miss it, and they make it. They're a good team. They're good players, and they have a good system. Like, they know their roles, and they know what they're going to do. They know where they're going to be. That series is going to be fun. I'll say it. Let's just go 7 with it. All right, people. I think we're going to wrap it up. Talking Baseball is out today. We're checking in on the over-under episode, a famous Talking Yanks episode. Some Trevor Plouffe highlights towards the end. You're going to like that. Go check out Athletic Greens /Jake. Enjoy the NBA playoffs. Golden State, Luka tonight. That'll be fun. The Compound, Manhattan. We talked about him. We texted him on the show.
Tomorrow's Rose rotation is Logan Webb.
Wow.
It's a big one.
Giants. JJR coming up in a little bit more, and all the AMP stuff. Go check that out. Talking Yanks has been a lot of fun.
Wordle will be out tonight.
Wordle Wednesdays. Thank you, guys. We love you. Bake the algorithm. We'll see you back soon. Let's go Rangers. LGR.